Hi guys, Scott here from Outlaw Garage. We're masked up and a little bit fogged up today. We're down here at Born and Thread. We're picking up our t-shirt, so we're going to have a bit of a look at the process and see what the guys do down here. We're down in the 356 and here we are at Born and Thread. We're in the front of the shop, going to take a bit of a tour as we pick up our air-cooled t-shirts. Just going to have a bit of a tour.
Yeah, so this is our showroom. This is where people come in. Into Born and Thread, basically where we have a whole varying range of print samples and blank garments for people to try on.
Which we're going to have a bit of a look at later, because I think hoodies and other t-shirts will be on the agenda for making at some point soon.
And then we have some of our cap samples, bottle openers, stubby coolers, some masks, some bags, bits and pieces, and generally where we meet clients and discuss their order.
Yeah,
which allows us to kind of show them stuff on the fly that'd be like, I think this would apply, this will work. No, that's why this would be the best option for you.
Yeah, I think we're going to take a good look before we go.
Yeah, and then we got our artist side of things. So we like to keep it arty rather than a commercial printing space because we work with a lot of brands and artists. So these are some of the brands and artists that we support and not necessarily print for, but some of them we have. And yeah, it's a bit of what we do.
Local Melbourne, Brisbane, basically Australian artists supported in the local area.
Absolutely.
It's cool.
Yeah. It's good to give back. The dirty side of the business. So basically, this is where all our pre and post print production happens.
Yeah.
So basically where we lay out jobs and when stock comes in, where we pick jobs and allocate it to the job that's supposed to be printed. And then we got our 2 6-color manual carousels.
It's such a cool space.
Yeah, it's not bad. We built the dark room when we moved in here. So this is our ink station. So directly over the laser light, so you got most natural light. And this is a daylight actual fluoro that gives you really accurate light for mixing inks.
Yeah.
And our film printer and our station for mixing colors. And then through here,
print
our dark room, which I'll turn the light on for you.
Oh, look at that. Oh, wow.
This is where we make screens and expose screens like over there and then wash them out here in our reclaim tank that allows us to dip screens and get the emulsion off them. And
okay, so
there's a whole process.
Yeah, you expose the screens over there.
Yeah, so this is the big UV light.
Yeah.
So this is a massively old 80s light that basically has super strong UV. Very expensive bulbs go in these. And we've got our layup stations. This is where we film, make sure everything's in rego, everything's going to be all good. So this is basically a little light box.
Oh, look at that.
Lets us check everything out, make sure it's all spot on.
Yeah.
Then we lay it up on screens, pop it in there. That vacuum blanket holds the screen perfectly still for 60 seconds while we expose it.
Yeah, okay.
And we bring it over here, and this big backlight so we can see through the screen properly.
Yeah.
And wash out the actual image that's meant to be there. So, and even once the screens are made, that's not even it done. Then you've got on-press time. So, on-press is physically putting the screen in the press, taping up all the edges, doing a registration check where you get a scratch t-shirt and you basically print a test to make sure everything's aligned, that nothing's warped and nothing's moved.
Yeah.
Get it all dialed in, mask off all your regos, and then you're good to run. So, for a 2-color print like this one here, that might be 20 minutes of messing around. For a 4, 5, 6 color, that could be an hour.
Yeah, and because we've done multiple colours on ours, I'm assuming ours was like easy.
Yours. I mean, then it comes down to the skill of the operator. So someone can't just jump on a press. They can pull a squeegee once it's all set up for sure. Yeah. And in probably a few hours, you could learn good pressure and angle and stroke.
Yeah.
And a couple of different techniques, but the physical setting up is a whole process in itself.
Yeah, definitely. Lovely setup. What a cool shop.
Yeah, thank you. We're proud of it. And then upstairs we've got some storage and a little staff chill out area if you want to see that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Come on up. Watch your head because it's not
It's a low area.
Yeah, it is a very low area, thus the big rubber pad. So we wanted to give something back to the staff, and it's not anything too crazy. But
Yeah, it's cool though.
Spot for them to get away from the machines and just have a chill out spot to get on their phone. They got some phone chargers here, and yeah, it's a good setup.
And look, you make the most of what you got, don't you, with space? And if this gives people a bit of a break and a rest, and then back at it again, like
absolutely. Then this is where we store our excess film. So when a job's been completed, like yours, and the screens have been reclaimed, which is we've only got 150 or 200 in rotation. So with 80 or 60 jobs on the go in any month, plus depending how busy we are, those screens disappear pretty quickly. So
yeah, you got to rotate them, and
so we've got a whole filing system for different customer names, so that if they come back for a repeat, we don't charge them because we can just grab it, shoot it again.
Yeah.
So there is some time and cost there that we don't charge for, but it's part of the thank you for coming back.
Yeah. Repeat business, best business.
Always, it's easy.
Yeah.
Education process, they know what's going on. They painted that in a day, hand painted with acrylics.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 2 of them. Ink Boy and his partner Carla did a fantastic job, knocked it out of the park. And it was really fun to just give an artist free range to be like, do whatever you want. So,
yeah, it's a creative spot, isn't it? So it's nice to have creative things around you. I guess it inspires the rest of it as well.
So the ink colours and the mixing, basically we use a Pantone Wilflex mixing system that we have our core mixing inks, just like car paint, where you're basically mixing a colour to a swatch. Instead of being just paint swatches from a company, there's actually a Pantone book that you mix to that colour, which is why the lighting's so important in that mixing area, so that we can get the colour dialed. So,
and that was over in here, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'll even show you the Pantone book with a little light indicator in it.
So this was down here where...
Yep, so we've got a really highly calibrated scale that has really fine recognition of how much weight's in there, up to 3 kilos.
Okay.
And then this is our Pantone book that we check our colours to. So like your bright Pantone, so we got pastels and then we got the brights. So you go from pastels, so there's your 806 pink that you used in that t-shirt. So there's a few colours there. And then your light indicator, this is really important. So that is what shows you, if those 2 panels look the same, which they basically do right now without the light turned on, that means that you're looking at the colours accurately.
Ah, because that is slightly subtly different.
That's
not quite sure you can pick that up on the camera. And then when the light's on,
it should be bang on.
Yeah,
so when we're mixing right here with the light straight over, you've got
that's how you know that you've got the light right.
That's it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then these actually expire because these get affected by UV. So we buy a new one every 18 months, and we buy 2. We have one for the design team and one out here for mixing, so we're both on the same page. Yeah,
kind of. When you come to think of it, you would think when they're sat there, they would fade or go off a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So these are our T's.
Yeah, we got the inside neck style, which was a bit of a challenge with the small text, but we managed to find a way to make that work. Yeah. Basically expanding out the text, because you have a thing called ink spread. So when the ink hits the fabric, it essentially can spread. Yeah. Especially once the ink gets a bit warm and the pallets are warm, which is the boards you load the t-shirts onto. So to combat that, you actually make the whole fraction bigger, so when it spreads, it goes to where it's meant to be, rather than filling in. Yeah. So and there's your very bright. Yeah. So when we mix the Pantones, it's physically the color you selected. So, and next time when you come back, we've got all that on record. It'll be printed with exactly the same colors again.
So there we have it, the neon air cooled.
Yeah.
That is bright. That is cool.
It's hard to show that on screen.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it won't show up on screen as bright as it is, but
pixels, especially like yellows and blues, really hard to show on screen as bright.
Yeah, they pop.
Inside our business model to be as environmentally friendly as we can. We're always taking steps. Our staff are really onto that as well and kind of hold me accountable, which is really nice. So, you know, we've got a separation tank in our wash room. We're running inks that are safe to these are Wilflex high quality inks that basically don't have any paraffins in them, basically meaning that you can have a kid chew on that ink and there's not going to be anything toxic in them.
Yeah,
a whole bunch of things that we're trying to do that aren't cheap, but it's the idea is to be able to have conscience of like your production footprint.
And to be fair, probably not what somebody thinks when they're wearing the t-shirt either. Yeah,
so
it's
nice
to know like the thought process that kind of goes behind it, because I would not think of it. I'd think, oh, I've got a t-shirt on. I wouldn't think of, you know, potentially the environmental effects, and then like you said, a 2-year-old sucking on your t-shirt, and what's the impact of that?
And also just like the chemicals we use during the process to make the screens and strip the screens, we've gone as environmentally friendly as we can with a proper separations tank to make sure minimal stuff goes through to the environment.
That's stunning.
And then AS Color, who's great to work with, they're very conscious of their supply chain, so
yeah,
got a whole bunch of stuff on their website that allows us to feel like we're supporting a company that cares about that as well.
In the video, we'll put a link down in the description for AS, and yourselves will plug in the video as well anyway, so there'll be plenty there. So if you're in Melbourne and Victoria, or you're even interstate and looking for t-shirts and stuff, these are definitely the guys that you want to come to. Brilliant.
Come check out our showroom.
Look at this. Brilliant.
Thanks. Yeah, that's a local winery called Peyton and Jones. 2 guys that started their own winery out in Hillsville. It's actually opposite Four Pillars Gin Distillery, which a lot of people do know from a famous gin company out there that we also print for them.
See, there's another lesson learned. Being new to Victoria, gin distillery, tick on the list.
Yeah, 100%. They're literally opposite each other.
Oh, wow.
Go have a gin and then go and get some great wine.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
That is...
So, so these guys work with a lot of Melbourne artists and overseas artists and international artists, but the main thing that they do is they get all these murals done, and then we get the perks of being able to print them, which is fantastic.
Yeah, they look brilliant.
Yeah, we've got one on the back door here that's actually quite tricky, one that we did for them. They wanted like a meatloaf style. So that's the artist render, and that's our screen print.
So the artist render there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't it great?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to add that to the list of places to go to.
100%. I get out there every chance I can. Every time I print an order for them, I go and drop off, say hi, grab a bottle of wine. It's fantastic.
That's a good excuse to go.
It's a really good... Yeah, we have a good chat. They're good guys. They really are. Yeah, if you tell Troy or one of the guys from Peyton and Jones that Dan from Born and Thread sent you, he'll look after you.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, so I've been a long time from Datsuns. I picked this one up in January because my first car was a 200B wagon, or an A10 overseas. And I went looking for another wagon. They were hard to find. There were pretty few on fair, like out there for sale. And I actually found one in Brisbane in January, and I flew up and I drove it back, and it was a really cool one for me. So it's a 1978 Datsun 200B wagon, but it's actually a JDM import.
Ah, okay.
So it was for the Australian market, but it was overflow before they fully committed to the Australian market for the 200B. So it's actually got all the JDM specs. So it's actually got like the wood trim panel on the rear. It's got vinyl interior instead of cloth front-facing seats. It's got a little camel pack in the rear quarter. It's actually got a rear window squirter on the rear window, which they don't have that in the Aussie models. Roof racks. And mine's completely slammed on its guts in this beautiful like ruby red color. And with an old set of SSR Mark II wheels that I've just been rebuilding. I'm redoing the front coilovers, 2 litre in it with a cam and some twin 40 DCOE weathers.
Is it static, or did you airbag it? Or?
Oh no, it's static and it's low. Yeah, I'll bring up some photos and I'll show you. Yeah, I'd love to. I actually did a photo shoot in Chinatown in March, April, when the first lockdown happened, because a photographer friend of mine was like, been waiting to photo your car. Now that you've got it, it's so slammed, let's take it to Chinatown while it's dead. And we did a photo shoot in the middle of the city in Chinatown, just parked there. It was
so you have to send us some of those photos, and I'll insert them in the video, just so we see.
I'd love to. It looks so great. Yeah, give him a shout out too. I'll give you his details when I send the photos.
Alright, brilliant.
He's an amateur photographer, but he does some fantastic stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, and he's got an old Merc himself. So
okay.
He's got an old V8 Merc that's just slammed on really nice wheels and looks so good.
Yeah, we are looking very much forward to, you know...
We're all waiting to get out there.
Yeah, get outside, see more of Melbourne, see more of Victoria, and have a bit of a wander around, because when we got here, we were literally in lockdown straight away.
Oh, yeah, that's hard.
Sucks.
I had my car for a month and was just starting to fix a few things, and then we got into lockdown, and I just keep buttoning up more and more things. Like right now, the coilover's getting rebuilt. I'm rewiring the MSD ignition booster, and I'm just doing a few things so that when Cars and Coffees are on next, or any meets are on,
yeah, you got to try and make the most of the time being locked down, and then at least you're out on the road again.
I even had the barrels rebuilt and polished and everything on the wheels because they were a little rough from the previous owner. So just doing all the little things that you don't normally bother because it'd be off the road too long.
Yeah,
so it's been nice actually.
Very cool. Hope you enjoyed the video. It's a little bit cold and windy now, so we're going to head off in the 356. Massive thanks to the guys at Born and Thread. Really gave us some inspiration today. We're it's cold now. We're used to Dubai weather, and we're fogging up cold, so we're going to get in the 356 and head home. Please support local businesses if you can. They're all doing it pretty hard at the moment with everything that's going on in the world. Check out Born and Thread. We'll leave their Instagram details in the description below. They do fantastic work with hats, hoodies, t-shirts, any kind of printing you want. So please hop over and give them some support. They've been absolutely fantastic. Our t-shirts are coming out on sale very, very soon. So keep looking on our Instagram for those. Hope you have a good day, guys. We'll see you later.